The six schools of Indian philosophy or Vedic philosophy encompasses a range of thought systems rooted in the ancient Indian scriptures. It seeks to understand the nature of reality, the self, and the ultimate purpose of life. Its significance lies in providing foundational frameworks for both spiritual and intellectual inquiry and influencing various aspects of Indian culture and thought. About the Vedic philosophy, rooted in the Vedas, forms the foundation of ancient Indian thought and spiritual practice. The philosophy emphasizes the concept of cosmic order, which governs the universe and human conduct. The philosophy also explores profound ideas about the nature of the self, Atma, the ultimate reality, Brahman, and the interconnectedness of all existence. Well, the philosophy also underscores the importance of dharma, righteousness, karma, the law of cause and effect, in guiding moral and ethical behavior. Through rhymes, hymns, rituals, and meditative practices, Vedic philosophy seeks to align individuals with the divine and achieve spiritual liberation, that is, moksha. Initially, the Vedas may seem to promote the Vedic philosophy of polytheism. However, this perception gradually fades as one progresses towards the Upanishadic period. The Upanishads subtly articulate Vedic philosophy, presenting ideas that can guide towards the realization of the utilitarian truth. Traditionally, Vedic philosophy was conveyed through the six distinct schools of thought, each offering a unique perspective. We will be talking about all these three different classical schools now. Each of these Vedic philosophical perspectives, or darshanas, is linked to a renowned sage who authored a sutra, or a code, encapsulating the essence of his view. Vyasa's Vedanta Sutra, a critical evaluation and interpretation of these six Vedic philosophies, along with other philosophies, represents a significant body of Vedic literature. This body of work is known as the Nyaya Sutra, or the scripture of philosophical disputation within the context of Vedic philosophy. The six darshanas are philosophical systems or schools of thought that take their authority from the Vedas. As implied by the meaning of the word darshana, to see or to experience, the six disciplines offer unique points of view, six separate windows from which to observe and comprehend life, six seemingly disparate paths leading towards the one ultimate reality through the removal of ignorance of the nature of existence, liberation from suffering, and the attainment of enlightenment. Each darshana is scientific in approach, with a doctrine based on logic and critical arguments. Each has an epistemology, theory of knowledge, a cosmogony, theory of creation, a metaphysical view of reality that could be theistic or atheistic, a strong ethical framework, and tools to validate and substantiate the system. Each darshana was confided by a founding sage who also composed explanatory verses, sutras, to elucidate its meaning, to serve as a guide or manual towards the recognition of a higher, more meaningful life. Accordingly, these six important philosophical texts, they are Sankhya, Sutra of Kapila, Yoga, Sutra of Patanjali, Nyaya, Sutra of Gautama, Vaissheshiksha, the Sutra of Kannada, Mimamsa, Sutra of Yamini, Brahma Sutra, also called the Vedanta Sutra of Badrayana. Now, the word sutra means a thread, a string, implying that they bind together in written form a previously oral tradition. More prosaically, the sutras were first written on leaves, which were then bound together with string. Whatever the origin of the term, the sutra is a series of aphorisms that contain a thought, an idea, a statement, or an argument expressed in a brief, condensed phrase, dense with meaning, and therefore open to different interpretations. For this reason, the darshanas have traditionally required scholarly attention to be unveiled. In contrast to the Indian epics, which dispensed wisdom in a more accessible manner. Any attempt to explain the substance and significance of each of these schools in a few paragraphs would not do justice to the depth and complexity and crest of insight that they encompass. The extraordinary diversity of ideas contained in the Vedas is staggering. Scholars have found verses within it that support monism, monotheism, polytheism, pantheism, and even atheism. This speaks eloquently of a long and ancient practice of open mindedness, tolerance, and objectivity. And fundamentally, these are all perhaps different perspectives to a singular reality. While each darshana accepted the authority of the Vedas, it was not a blind acceptance. The authors used a rigorous validating process, subjecting each assumption to deep analysis and stringent rules of logic and linguistics. Before perfecting the system of thought, in their early years, they confided darshanas. They were characterized by healthy arguments and refutations debated by the various schools. This served to clarify and strengthen each codex, with the result that the six darshanas give us six uniquely different but coherent systems to use to holistically understand life. But above all, each darshana begins with the firm belief that a spiritual temperament is a prerequisite to fathom the nature of life. Perhaps this simple, and it implies that life's truth cannot be fully comprehended by reason alone. To be able to achieve a deeper understanding, there is a need to adhere to the Vedic injunction to know ourselves as a call to look deeper within, to purify and push one's mind into the mysteries beyond the domain of mere intellect, so as to be able to see the truth as it is. Vedic philosophy, with its diverse schools of thought, offers a rich exploration of reality and spirituality. From Nyaya's logic to Vedanta's metaphysics, each Vedic philosophy represents unique paths for understanding and transcending the material world. This evolution highlights a persistent quest for truth and salvation, blending empirical reasoning with spiritual insight, whether through and analytical Vaissheshiksha, the disciplined yoga, or the materialistic Lokayata. Vedic philosophy remains a profound guide to exploring the nature of existence and life's ultimate goals, continuing to influence and inspire modern thought. Philosophy arose in India as an inquiry into the mystery of the life and its existence. Indian philosophy refers to several traditions of philosophical thought that originated in the Indian subcontinent. Over centuries, India's intellectual exploration of truth has come to be represented by the six systems of philosophy that we have just learnt about and read about. These six systems of philosophy are said to have been founded by so many saints and so many gurus. These philosophies still guide scholarly discourse in the country. The six systems of philosophy were developed over many generations with contributions made by individual thinkers. However, today we find an underlying harmony in their understanding of truth, although they seem distinct from each other.